Peace and blessings. This is Nubia I, the Raw Food Goddess, the Womb Priestess, and the Holistic Practitioner. And today I wanted to come to you all with a video just dealing with happiness. And what is that thing we really call happiness, and how do we attain it? How do we get that thing called happiness? And I'm learning more and more about how happiness is something that really is something you have to come with. It's not the things outside that's going to bring you more. And right now I'm not saying anything different than anybody else, but I wanted to put my little twist on and give you another perspective about what I think is robbing us of our happiness a lot in this society. I think that traditionally we were in cultures that were more communal. So therefore there was really no time, space, or place to really get sad or what you call depressed, because first of all, everybody had a role in the family. Everybody had something that they were really good at and they were revered for doing, and everybody gave them that love and respect that they needed to perform those duties. And there was no time for really loneliness, because you always had your elder, your grandmother that you could talk to if there was something on your mind. Or you had your wife who was close to your mother, or close to her husband's mother, and vice versa on the other side. Or you had children that you could tend to, and other women that can help you with the children. I think a lot of things too, especially with women, I was thinking about was, think about it, we tend to have these extra duties. So not only are we the wife and the mother and the breadwinner, so to speak, the one that has to go to work, particularly single mothers, but a lot of women, we're expected to rear the children mostly, and at least at some point. So not so different from indigenous cultures who really are expected to do the same thing, but they have mom and sisters and aunties and grandmothers and nanas and other people in the community to help them. I read one time that there's certain tribes in Africa where the children does not even know who their real mother is until they're almost 5 years old, because all the women really are acting as mothers. And you all remember even growing up, I remember growing up in Brooklyn, and this woman, and I see it today, this elder or this woman in our lives or our mother's best friend is our auntie. And she used to be able to whip our butt like our auntie or our mother did or whatever. Now things have changed so much. So I think that communal feeling, and then there was other things about that, not having that community, that strong community to go back to. I remember attending a lecture by Sabanfu Some, a sister from Burkina Faso. Excellent sister, scholar, spiritualist, as far as the spiritual, they're dealing with the orishas, or dealing with the essence of the indigenous spirits of the earth. And really telling her story of how we can heal in a society that seems fragmented. And she really talked about how in the culture of where she's from in Africa, at least in the village, let's say that a person went outside the village, which we do to go to school abroad or to live in another country, to get married, and comes back fragmented, as a society can often do. And maybe even come back and they get on drugs, they're back and they're on drugs, and they're maybe alcoholics. Just really life has torn them apart. When they come back, the community welcomes them back. And instead of sitting there telling them about how wrong they are and they better get their SHIT together and they're so ashamed of them, they remind them. They sit in a circle and constantly say, I remember when you used to help little kids across the road. I remember when you used to wipe your grandmother's feet. I remember when you used to make the best foods, or eat or kill the best, be the best hunter, or what have you. They tell him or her, I know how great you are. We're all going to sit here, hundreds of people constantly telling you how wonderful and beautiful and great that you are. Where do we have that? We'd be lucky if we could call our friend, if she could talk for 5 minutes because she at work and see the boss is watching her, so she can't make a phone call more than 15 minutes. Remember, you only got a 15-minute break, and usually you fill it up with your coffee, your cigarette smoke, that you don't even have time to be there for people. We live in a society where work is about how much we can make for another, and then whatever's left we can maybe pay our bills. When before work was integrated in life, there was no difference. There was no place you went outside of this village to go. And so I think a lot of that has a lot to do with these feelings of being surrounded by so many people but feeling so lonely in our society. And so how do we rectify some of these things? How do we bring that connectiveness or that interconnectedness back to our lives to make us more whole and healthy beings? I mean, some of us even look now, we think we're born in families that don't understand us. These people don't know me. We say, who are these people? How did I get here? And sometimes on a karmic level, you are placed, I believe, in places, families, where you are here to learn lessons and to strengthen parts of yourself that would otherwise have been weak. And so you come into these communities, and a lot of us form communities outside of our immediate family, right? Our bloodline, our blood family. And I'd say that that's one suggestion that I would make on how to become more connected, how to bring in that village that we say that we feel that we need. Number one would be to connect with like-minded people, people that eat like you, people that think like you, people that want the same things that you want, people that share your spiritual value, people that have the same ethics that you have, moralities that you have. Those are the things that you would want, or the people. That's number one. You do find your group, find your tribe, find your blood that may not be connected through lineage or ancestry, but your blood. The other thing you can do is, a lot of times those feelings of depression and feeling isolated, it really does have a lot to do with the foods or non-foods that we put into our body. A lot of this stuff are narcotics, really. There's no other way to call anything else that I could call them but a drug, a narcotic, that actually takes you up. It's supposed to alleviate one symptom, but it produces another. And they like to call these other symptoms, they like to call them side effects. But actually, it's a direct effect. If you take aspirin and you get a heart attack when it's supposed to prevent, that's a direct effect from the aspirin. So how do we use food, like we talked about cacao, like we talked about maca, like we're talking about fruits and vegetables? How do we use foods as medicine? How do we use foods to keep us balanced and healed? We also talked about my essential oils in the last video. How do we use natural essences to heal and change our physiology? How do we do that? How do we use rose, which is an antidepressant, or ylang-ylang, which is an antidepressant, which also makes you have feelings of sensuality? Rose is also an antiseptic. How do we use that to help our bodies? How do we use lavender as a mood enhancer? How to enhance our dreams, become more intuitive, to calm us down? How do we use rose as a mild sedative? How do we use that in place of Prozac and Xanax and all the other stuff that society has, prescribed to us, I think that first thing is, again, to search out, when you have those feelings of depression and sadness, to search out these natural remedies, these essential oils. My products, if you ever want them, I think that they're good for that. I made my products to address all the holistic issues that one could have. It's not just what I put in my mouth, but what I put on my body, what I put on my hair. Do you get it? What I put in my spirit. How do we lift our moods as well with aromatherapy? Music. A lot of times the music, if it's depressing, if it has certain vibrational frequencies that are really, really stimulating our lower natures, lower just meaning our more animalistic nature, without the reasoning or the inner seeing that we have when we come up to our higher chakras. One is not worse than the other. It's a balancing constantly of all these channels. And that's really what we're talking about. So we want to focus on music that has vibrational healing frequencies. There's certain kinds of jazz, words that have lyrics that are uplifting, stuff that makes you feel good, music that makes you feel good. That's another way to bring some kind of cohesiveness back into your life. The other thing is communicating your problems. That silent, strong type is just played out. And a way to do it for men as well as women is to really start doing those heart chakra clearings and using more sea salt. Sea salt, really, when I'm feeling down or feeling like, oh, I don't know which way to go, that sea salt it just pulls out all these toxins. It's cleansing those chakras. It's healing me on an auric level. It is stimulating. It is healing. It is I sell the products as well, and you can get sea salt from anywhere. You don't have to get it from me. But just make sure, I feel like, there's a synergy that has to happen, and that's constantly happening all the time. So you want to buy products from people where you know who made those products. So having that connection, you want to talk about a connectiveness or interconnectiveness, having that connection to the people that make your products. Like when you go to the farmer's market, those are the growers, and most likely, in some cases, they pick the food themselves. You can talk to them and ask them. So, and if you like their vibe, then this is the person you would want around your food, or at least delivering your food to you. Oh, it's the same thing. Your beauty products, when you go into the beauty supply store, not even the people in the store had anything to do with the production of those products. A lot of times they were made by people in third world countries, or so to speak, I'm going to say other world countries, or first world countries if we want. If they were the first of the land, why are we calling them the third, But in these other places, or these indigenous places where they have indigenous lives, or still can lead those lives, and some of these people, unfortunately, are, there's child labor laws that's being, disregarded, and really made by people that are they're desperate. They're desperate for this money. They're coming from poverty. They're sad. So this is who touches your everything that you buy and that you put on your body. You have to ask yourself, is that the people is this the vibration that I want on my products? So remembering to spend your money where you have a connection to the people who created your products on some level, And I guess, I could go on. I don't really, I could get very, very deep, but I just wanted to remind you that there is help for you if you feel like today you're seeking help. I notice on days of like holidays, a lot of people really take that to heart. Isn't that interesting, so to speak? And we take a lot to heart. That's why we're carrying so much weight. They take it to heart and they feel like, oh, I'm not in love. I have nobody who loves me. I don't feel love. And I'm going, get in that salt bath. Use those essential oils. Buy that chocolate shea. Buy all the other fragrances that I have or that somebody has that you love and respect. You can heal your life, and you can be a part of something that's happening in this universe that is very, very beautiful. We forget that. We always see the bad news, talk about the bad situations, but there's always a divine equal. So if there's all this so-called not good things going on in the earth, there's an equal amount of, there's an equal amount of great things or good things going on in the earth. Seek those first. Seek the good. Look for it in every situation, and then the universe will bring you more good situations to have and to look for. Anyway, I love y'all. This is Nubia I, the Royal Goddess, the Womb Priestess, and the Holistic Practitioner, and I'm sending you peace, love, and hotep.